Hey guys, today I thought I'd talk about countering physical surveillance. Physical surveillance is something a lot of people have a lot of concerns about, and if it's not immediately obvious to you at the mention of physical surveillance, understand that I'm not talking about how to counter the police or any illegal activities. There's a lot of legitimate reasons why you may want to counter criminal or nuisance surveillance. You'd be surprised at the people that are often targeted. For example, bartenders often carry a lot of cash when they're leaving work. Very often they're followed for the purposes of criminal assault and robbery. As are strippers, as are jewelers. Jewelers coming out of a trade show could very often have hundreds of thousands, if not more, dollars worth of jewelry in their briefcases. Additionally, people going through divorce cases or child custody disputes or those types of issues may have PIs following them. People, insurance claims, or even expats living in dangerous kidnap risk areas. So there's a whole lot of reasons why countering physical surveillance may be a skill set you may want. So I wanted to talk about that a little bit. The stuff that I'm going to talk about is going to be some of the basic 101 stuff, so some of you that are more experienced in this realm might look at this and say, well, duh. But seriously, putting this into practice is something that will go a long way towards improving your overall security. I'll start off by saying a large part of good tactics are good habits. So if your awareness is not turned on, if you're not paying attention, a lot of this stuff is not going to work for you. So considering that a lot of surveillance happens in cars, whether you're in the car being followed by a car or near and around cars, cars is something we'll start off talking about. Basic good driving 101 requires that we have good situational awareness. So looking at our mirrors every few seconds to know what's going on around us from behind is very important. Adjust your mirrors in such a way that you can quickly eyeball them without major head movement is very, very important. You don't want to have your eyes off the road for too long when you're doing this. But here you have 180 degrees behind you that you're seeing. Couple that with with scanning, looking forward in anticipation of dangerous situations with a wide field of view, and you have good 360-degree awareness. With that in place, let me tell you guys about the T.E.D. principle. The T.E.D. principle will help you identify when somebody is following you, or at least it'll give you a good red flag that you should be paying more attention. The T.E.D. principle simply is T for time. If you see somebody over time, throughout the day or throughout the week, depending on the circumstances, it may ask that you pay a little bit more attention. So T for time. Now, if that person happens to live in your area or work within your area or stuff, that may not be such a big deal. But if you see him in any of the other situations, the coupling of these elements gives you more and more cause for alarm. If you see him in different environments, okay, I went to the beach, I went to the mall, I went to the suburbs. In different environments, it would be difficult that somebody else would be in the same circumstances as you traveling through these different areas. Finally, over distance, well, not finally, but over distance, I go to downtown, I go to uptown, I go to the suburbs, I go to a rural area. Over distance, the chances of that same person popping up would be a little bit slim. And finally, their demeanor. If they display an unusual demeanor along with displaying some of these, that may be somebody that should be a little bit more scrutinized. For example, somebody that's giving you either inappropriate eye contact, hard eye contact, avoiding your eye contact in a very conspicuous manner, target glancing, looking at your jewelry, different things like that may be triggers for you to pay more attention. So the T.E.D. principle gives you some good guidelines for what you should be looking out for. Now, once somebody has triggered your alertness, what can we do to get rid of them? When I was doing EP work, one of the things they trained us in was the T.E.D. principle, but also how to do a sweeping run. The sweeping run, in the most basic form, is simply to make 3 turns in the same direction. So I'm driving on the street, I see somebody in my mirror, they've been following me for some time over some distance, they're a little bit suspicious. I make a left turn, then I make another left turn, and ultimately another left turn. The chances of them following me through the 3 left turns for a legitimate reason are very slim. Okay, at this point, very often they'll determine that they've been made and quit, or at the very least I'll have some confirmation that I need to be paying even more attention. At this point, what should I do? If my concern is criminal assault, probably driving to the nearest police station or a populated area might be a smart thing. If this was a little bit more motivated, perhaps in the form of a kidnapping, perhaps you're a high value target, probably more elaborate countermeasures would be necessary. Now, if this was happening on foot, one of the easiest things that you can do would be to cut through a store or through a place of business. In my area here in Miami, by law, every business is supposed to have an accessible back door due to fire codes. This may require a little social engineering for you to get access to it, but very often walking into a place of business and going out the back door will give you a very, very effective escape route. Guys, these are some of the rudimentary basics. I hope you found this useful. Please, by all means, go ahead and subscribe so you can stay abreast of our uploads. Help us share this. Help us spread the word. Drop me your comments. Let me know how what you're thinking. Let me know how you like this type of stuff. Let me know what you like to hear. And until next time, guys, take care.